So we are back again for another weekly forecast. It's going to be nice, short, sweet. All the pairs that we're going to be looking to trade this week. And we're going to give you a quick little breakdown of why we're looking to trade them. So hopefully week by week, the more you watch these videos, you are going to get a great understanding of just how to attack the markets, when to stay away from them, because there's definitely more times to stay away from them than there is to actually be in them. And that's when you actually make more money, when you start saying no to more setups because they just don't actually add up. And then as you build up more experience, typically what happens is you're not actually in positions very often because you get so good at keeping a routine and spotting all the bad trades that you shouldn't be taking, and the actual excitement of just being in the market sort of diminishes. So with all that compounding on top of each other, the end result is trading can become very boring. You shouldn't be looking at the charts as often. It should be a really fine pinpoint process that you've developed over time. That, of course, will make you consistently profitable. So nonetheless, Euro Aussie, we'll start from the top down and we'll go out to the daily to see a bigger overall picture of what's happening here. Again, nothing too exciting. We're sort of consolidating right now. We have had on Thursday there a massive shooting star candle. So right now what I'm monitoring is just how price action is going to react, because we've had a doji candle, which of course tells you the buyers tried to take control, the sellers tried to take control, and we closed just a little bit below the open here. So that would tell us that the market doesn't really know what it's doing. This big candle here though would suggest that sellers have taken control. So right now I'm just monitoring price action to see if this trend line is going to be held, and if it does get held, how is it going to react when it meets this trend line inside this area of support. So Euro JPY, seems we are losing some steam, moving in an upward fashion, but if we zoom out to the daily, you'll see the overall picture here. Price starting to squeeze, and now we're really failing to break this high here. So the next obvious move for me is to actually come back down to the bottom of this channel. But what happens when we do get to the bottom of this channel? We can see a nice obvious area of support here. What happens when we do get to this area here? This is what we'll be monitoring. Do we then push up higher, or do we have a break, respect, come back in for a retest, and then could probably come back down into this region here for a possible short? But again, until anything really develops and moves, we're not looking to take any trades immediately, because of course we are anticipating the break of this ascending pennant. But that doesn't mean to say that we can't find buyers for one last time and push up even higher. So NZD/USD, again, we had this on the watch list for last week. Not really much has developed. This took the whole week. Very slow, sluggish price action. But of course, we are waiting for a retest back in this area. Back down, same as before. Aussie Cad, again, fairly obvious what we're looking for here. We are looking to take price action back up to the top of these highs at roughly 0.99500. With a nice hammer candle printed on Thursday, an indecision candle on Friday. If we go down to the 4 hour, what can we see? We can see price action pushing up heavily against this downtrend line, but again, we've now broken this small high here, potentially coming back up, creating a higher low, and then push up higher. But GBP/USD, we were potentially looking for a short position somewhere along the lines of back down to these lows here. But again, it'll really determine on maybe the 1 hour what type of reversal signals we're getting. As you can see, there's a lot of indecision. We're trying to push down, and we're being rejected right on this 50 EMA. So really right now we're just going to sit back and wait. Do we get a break? Is it a well respected break, or is it a fake out? And then what happens is, how does price action react when we do break to either one of these levels? Does it come back into retest and then we go long, or does it come back into retest and we go short again? Either way, we both know what either outcome could be, and we're going to capitalise on any one that presents itself. EuroCAD, again, extremely messy, but as you can see here, we are expecting price action to come back to the top of these highs here. But again, just look, it's quite messy. It's not really anything trending. There's no really good structure. It's just moving from side to side. So I would need a convincing push away, come back in to maybe these lows here, and then a push up. Because right here, stupid money. That's where everybody gets caught out. That's where we're not going to get caught out, and we're just going to be very patient for this one. Now, not something I would normally trade. Ethereum versus Bitcoin. Moving very, very nicely. Since 28th of March. Very, very nicely. A lot of volume, which tells me that there could be a lot of opportunities in the future to start trading more of these cryptocurrency pairs. And the great thing about what we have in terms of skills is we could transfer everything that we have learned in forex over to these pairs and capitalize. This is why it's so great to get the fundamentals of the technical analysis and also the fundamentals of the fundamental analysis right, because these can be carried over into other pairs and make you an awful lot of money. But again, we are on a bull run right now, quite a significant one. I do think this week's going to be a pullback phase. We might even come back in an area like this. Let's just have a look and see what a quick Fibonacci kind of levels we can get with this. So we'll take this low point here, and we'll take this high point up top. You can see here that matches up quite nicely, and the 0.382 matches up quite nicely. So we might actually use these levels because they do look really significant. And then we'll just take this away. So we're going to have a look at these two levels here. Could we get a bounce up here without actually hitting this region or this region? Yes, we could easily get a bounce from round around this round about this region, but of course we need to be looking at entry signals. You really need to master your entry signals. You need to, of course, know about market traps. So we're just going to be watching price action float back into this region, and then we'll make a decision based on that once we get near the time. USD/JPY, again, in an incredibly extended bull run. Can we push up from here? Perhaps. Is it more probable to come back down into this region? I would say so. So that is what we're anticipating, this region here, to get a pullback before then taking buys back up. So let's just see what happens on the market open and how price action reacts to this. Quite a small, not really significant trend line, but nonetheless, we do want to see, can we find some buyers in this area to push up higher again, or do we come back down? And this is where we get the buyers back in to continue the bull run. Aussie/JPY. I do think that we, just based on the fact that we've got this ascending pennant, we have technically a shoulder, a head, and it looks like to be forming another shoulder. This outside trend line that was part of this ascending pennant that got broken, used as support, could actually be the neckline. And then what would happen is, if we take this away to make things look a little bit neater, just watch out for this zone here. But this potentially could act as a neckline, break, retest, and then we could come quite far down in terms of probably even all the way down to these lows here. But again, this is going to take a lot of development. We are looking at this on the daily, so this could take weeks to play out. This might be a better first target of where we would want to take the price action down to, just for people who like to trade a little bit shorter term. If you have the patience, then you could easily make your target all the way down here, around about the 73.500 mark. But again, nonetheless, really interesting pair to watch for. Just be wary that we are forming head and shoulders. So we've got the shoulder here. We've got the head. And then we have the other shoulder. So this is typically what we'll be looking for on Aussie JPY. Aussie USD, again, extremely interesting pair. We are looking to start finding some buyers, but although the nature of this is sort of like another head, another shoulder, sorry, a head and another shoulder, so we are really going to be monitoring price action carefully on the market open. So we're going to move this down to the bottom because it's one that needs immediate action. USD CAD, we are of course looking for a short position. This is a really big weekly level here at 1.23841, but of course we are just wanting to play it safe and take price action down to 1.24750. But whether we get an entry on this or not, who really knows? I think we might have just missed it, unless we do get some form of reaction back here. Then of course we could easily get some form of rejection here, but again, not the cleanest of looking charts, but they're all really relevant levels to the price action that's happening right now, so we are going to keep them. And just neaten this up a little bit. Okay, so that's something that we will be looking to take immediate action on if we get provided with the right entry signal. So gold, again, super bullish. We've broken this daily downtrend line, which is confirming the bullish bias. As you see here, it's been in a downtrend for quite some time now, since the 5th of January 21. We've pushed down, created a double bottom on this big weekly level, and now we're looking to get that push back up. As you can see here on the weekly, we've created a huge hammer candle, which is extremely bullish, and on top of that we've closed outside of this trend line, confirming that more buyers will be looking to step in the market more probably. Now again, I'm on the daily, so what I'm going to be looking for is, I don't expect this to just shoot up instantly when the market opens, and throughout this week I do expect maybe a little bit more of a carry up and then a slow turn back down into this region here. Hopefully the 50 EMA sort of follows suit, and then we do try and find some more buyers roughly around this B wave to take the next leg up to the C wave. So NZD CAD, sorry, 2 more pairs to go. Again, Nice descending wedge pattern. I've just had the breakout. Let's clean this up a little bit. I'm thinking that for me to go long on this pair, I really need to see these highs broken. Need to see these highs broken. Push, push, push. Okay, that's typically what I'm looking for. And I'm just gonna keep this there to remind myself that, okay, this was a descending wedge pattern that we were looking at. And now that we are coming out of this, we are looking to take price action up, and then eventually we could see targets all the way back up to just above the 0.93000 region. So again, this is all the pairs that we're going to be looking at. As always, we do have a few future pairs that we're going to be looking at in the red list, but if anything does come into fruition during the week, we obviously will update you and post some analysis. But Euro US dollar, we took a buy position on this, a long-term buy, because we created a double bottom here, an inverted double bottom right at the bottom of this structure after faking out. So we've created a lower low, lower high, failed to create another lower low, so it's technically a higher high, higher low now, which is bullish structure. Higher high again, bullish structure. We're coming back down into, I would say, round about these highs here, mixed in with these lows. So these lows here, these highs here. And what we're seeing is a nice rejection of sensitivity from here, 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 and now we're coming back in. So a good confirmation to tell us that this trade was actually a good trade to get into. It would be a nice push off, which we seem to be rejecting. We've had a push down, failed to close below. Now we've had an indecision candle on the last 4 hours of Friday. And hopefully when the market opens, we do continue this bullish run up. So again, well done anybody if you got into that trade. This has been all the pairs that we're going to be looking at for this week. Starting the 5th of April. Technically the 4th if you count the market open tonight at 10. I've got 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12, 13 pairs to be looking at. So a lot to be looking at. Again, trade less, make more. So make sure that you're just entering the pairs that match all your rules and that you're comfortable managing your trades with the risk management plan that you're putting into place. And like always, if you have any questions or if you're struggling with trading, if you're just not making any money consistently, stop what you're doing, reach out to one of us and we'll happily help you get back on track. So until the next video, we'll see you in the next one.